viewers to tell me, it's good to have you on this program, Future Ambassadors. I'm Omotola Adokai Ogundele. Today we want to look at politics, that we want to look at youth and political participation. But I'm having a wonderful guest in the studio that will be telling us more about youth and politics. I'm having Mr. Kazeem Adeoye. You're welcome to this program.
Thank you very much.
Nigerian youth are known to be hopeful, to be ambitious and energetic. But we realize that in politics, they are like relaxing, I don't know. So we want to look at youth and politics. What's your take about, what's your concept about political participation?
Well, before we can adequately understand youth participation in politics, we need to spell out who are the category of youth eligible enough to participate in political decision making. But one prerequisite should be somebody who is of stipulated age of 18 and above, but somebody who is mentally aware enough for the need, mentally aware enough to understand what the society needs from our political office holder, and those who can relate with this concept and have the urge or the interest to want to be part of either joining a political party system to form government or to be directly involved in anything or everything that has to do with politics in their society. Okay,
so young people have the concept. We have a party now that is for young people.
Okay.
So that's a young people, young progressive party.
Okay.
It's for young people.
Okay.
So and the concept of not too young to rule. That's the bill has been passed for not too young to rule. And we've seen that a lot of young people are now showing interest, but we've not seen enough. We've not really have enough. We want to see changes, but what can that change? Can we really see a greater? What can we see from different from the people that we're ruling for? What we expect to see, or what we think the youth can give, can dish out from what we have been seeing before?
Basically, before we can say not too young to rule, there are certain sacrosanct questions we need to ask ourselves. And what are those questions? Most of these leaders who are of age presently all started as a youth. So the fact that it is the youth that have the ability to make the change. But truly, if you look at that sentence, it is tainted with falsehood.
Why?
Yes. We have had situation where governor of a certain state is of the younger age. And in the last couple of years that he has been the governor, what impact has he been able to make to identify him and make us realize the fact that the youth can truly and actually give us a change we need?
So are you trying to say that the young people are not ready, or they can't really rule this country?
I am not of the opinion that young people cannot rule this nation. But basically, it is not about being youthful.
Like you say, mentally stable?
It is about having the interest of the masses at heart. That is just the basic thing. It is not about the age.
So whoever that goes there, it doesn't matter.
It does not matter for as long as there will be needed and the needful change. So I'm not of the opinion that you bring in a youth. If you are bringing in a youth, we've had youth as president before. A military president, Gowon was elected as a youth. Same applies to Murtala Muhammad. Same applies to Ibrahim Babangida and the likes. What impact were they able to make as a youth?
But don't you think that was during the military era and all that? Well, now we have people that are quite educated, people that have seen a lot of things, they've gone through a lot of processes. Don't you think now it's better for us to have young people to channel, because like I said earlier on, youth are ambitious, enthusiastic, and energetic and promising. You see them having they know what it takes to, okay, they can feel the shoes, they know. We have a lot of youth outside there that are not employed and all that. Don't you think when a young person, young mind gets there, that person will be able to know how to channel what youth really wants?
Like I will always say, it is not about
The age.
the age. It is having the interest of the masses at
Okay,
heart.
now we have people that have interest. We have a lot of youth that have interest, but how can they get there? How can they get there? Some people have interest to rule. Some people, you see them in a little environment they have, maybe in the youth fellowship or wherever. You see them ruling well in their office. They are managing things properly.
The parameter to measure if people are doing well or not. If in the case of a church
Or any gathering.
or a gathering, you want to, because of the fact that somebody is ruling well within those short member of society, you now want to bring it to the larger phase where we have huge number of people to manage. And you know one thing about political leaders, what they manage is not just the political interest. They manage both the resources and the developmental objective of that particular confine or particular state. So if you want to judge somebody ruling a church or somebody managing his office and you want to bring it into politics, then you'll be so wrong. But what is more there, the enthusiasm should come without prejudice, without sentiment, with the opinion or with the option that I want to go in there to make an impact.
Okay, now people are having that. I want to go there to contribute my own quota. I want to go there to make my own impact. So how do I start? Is it from my bedroom? How do I get there?
Getting there is not an issue.
It's an issue.
It is not an issue.
Because we have so many talented young people that knows how to use technology, people that knows how to move things, but they are not there. How can they get there?
Well, to get there is to join a political party. When you join a political party, or preferably form one if you have the finances to do.
Okay.
But if you can't, you can join one. When you join, you would be in a position to eventually get what you want. But if you keep talking in the house without making a move, by the time you intelligent people fail to join political parties, then the fools who are courageous enough to join a political party will rule those who have the brain.
So now for what about acquiring form? We've heard of the amounts that is taken to get some forms in some parties. Do you think youth are, because most youth are not employed, most people youth that have the brain are not they don't have the finance, how can they source for this fund to get political party forms?
Like I said, we won't encourage them to source for fund. If they source for fund, the first thing they will want to recuperate
is to replace
the money borrowed. But what we can do with the youth, we don't need to compare political parties and the amount they sell their forms. But basically, if we want to complain about 40 million being too expensive or being too much, accepted. But do you know that in Nigeria we have youths who team up to go to club and spend as much as 70, 40, 50 or 100 million in partying alone. So if truly the youth have the zeal to want to make a change, the way we youth gather to get money to spend on merrymaking, we can put it together, sponsor one particular person who we think has the mental ability and the capability to represent us rightly. If we're able to sponsor that person, it would, in that sphere, make the needful and the needed political change that we are aspiring for as a youth.
But do you think youth will decide to vote for youth? Don't you think, in a way, our leaders have a way to get this youth to give them money, to make them to change their mind, to support them and all that? If a youth that just comes up and say, okay, I want you to vote for me, how many youths will be ready to vote for him?
The population of with the youth is so much to give us the desired political change that we want. But the most unfortunate thing is that we tend to focus less on the most needful thing that would affect our life. And how do we do this? When the political elite, the ascribed or the presumed older generation, when they want to bring out their political interest, the first set of people they recruit is the youth. How do we get there? By giving them a stipend in order for the political gladiators to get their interest and make them serve them. So if the youth are paid, they will automatically work against their co-youth who choose the interest of having a political change as paramount in his life. But what I would always say is this: we need youth who are willing to make the change and sacrifice everything and anything that will be needfully needed to give us that political change that would the youth craft for.
Okay, now, what do you think, what are the things that we can see, we can gain from the youth, in case the youth are just feeling, oh, we are nothing, we don't have anything to contribute, they just relax and all that. But what are those things, those potentials that you think youth really have that it can contribute to the government?
Like I said, when you want to dine with the monkey of this generation, you must be equally willing and ready to learn the techniques of the new monkey of this new generation. If we must give the desired change, the youth must be carried along. And there is no way we would be carried along without us showing political interest in either a political party or another.
Okay.
But basically, youths that are willing and ready to contribute their own effort in giving us the needful political change that we want, they should show interest in joining the political party.
Yeah, but you've not really told me those things that are inherent in most youths, those things, those qualities, because some of these are leaders, or some of the older generation might think the youth cannot really give their best. Like you just cited an example of if governor that has not really performed well, some of these other ones will think, oh, if you give this youth this opportunity, they'll mix it up and all that, because they're ambitious, they want to take it to a next level, or to change things the way they feel like. So, but you know, as a youth, what are those potentials that are inherent in this youth, in these people?
Though the youth presently, the level of technological development and the understanding of latest technology in the youth has over the years so increased. So the youth of this generation understand how we can use tech to give us the desired economic development, political development that each and every political constituent desire to want to have. So when you bring in youth who have the potential to make the change, who have the technical know-how, who have knowledge of finances, who knows how to generate fund that can help increase the IGR of a particular political constituent, then the youth have the vibrancy level, which is far different from what the older generation has. So the youth can needfully use all this knowledge when given the chance, or if given the chance, to hold political office and put them into youth. But the contrary is what we are saying now. We have been able to see one of the senior special advisor of a particular governor in the southwest, who is believed to be a youth. They eventually discovered that he has been into fraud, which nearly taints the image of that state. So when you look at youth, the exuberance in the youth, and some of the atrocities people given the opportunity as a youth, when you see the kind of atrocity they eventually commit with such political office, you would always want to question yourself: are the youth truly ready to give us the needful or the desired change that we want?
Okay, but as at that, don't you think it's because they've seen so far that, okay, people that have gone there to rule, they've really done a lot of mess. People go there to enrich themselves and all that, and then it's an opportunity for you to get your own. Okay. Maybe that, I feel that's what they think. Don't you think that's what they feel they should do?
If that is what everybody feels, that means we are not ready for the political change that we want. Somebody might have spoiled something to a certain degree. It is pertinent for we others to equally look into means or way that we can better the lot of our people.
Okay, so now, in what way can we really help to encourage some youth again? Because I'm still really interested in youth participating in politics. In what way can we encourage these people to come into power?
Basically, the only way to encourage them is to bring out seminars or organize program, talk shows that would emphasize the need for us as a youth to partake in constituting political government, so that we can have a direct say. Imagine a political party where a man of 70 years is being being elected as youth leader. It is awkward. What do you think would be in the brain of a man of 70? You will discover that what you will be having in his brain will be how to rest and take care of his grandchildren.
So, why are these older ones not giving way to the younger generation?
That is selfishness on their side, then negligence on our own side. What do I mean by selfishness on their own side? They have taken huge time to rule from their youth days down to their present days. Why not give others too the chance to do the same at the age which you were able to start doing them?
But again, some of the youth, I think they somehow go to a party that doesn't really that cannot really maybe a party that we know this party cannot really even bring out a governor or a local a governor. Let me just say governor. I know a party must be formed, but must we form so many parties that we can not really account for?
The problem we are having is everybody wants to own a political party. And what is behind owning a political party is so much. Because to fund a party, you need finances. You need finances because you have to cover the whole of the 36 states. And in the case of a state, you should be willing and ready to cover the whole of the local government. Doing this, you need offices, you need outlets. So you will discover that running a political party for the youth is always very expensive that we as a youth can manage.
We can manage it.
And it is very hard. We cannot.
Okay.
Very hard for us to manage. So, but the only thing we need to do is this. Instead of forming small political party for youth, let's say some youth can be AAC or some other name, Some can be YPP, Youth Political Something Party. Instead of forming it in bits or in batches or in different form, why not allow the youth to come together and form one whole political party? So the whole political party will represent the interest of all the youth, not one forming his or her own, another one forming his or her own. No, let us come together. When we come together, we form a very strong political party, and this political party will be strong enough to wrestle power with the existing political party. If we cannot join the existing one, then
Okay. So now, in the issue of godfatherism, I think it's gradually fading off. But even at that, do you think it's a good thing to have godfatherism? Because when you have some, you don't have this money and all that. But do you think it's a good one to have godfatherism?
yeah, the issue of godfatherism, you cannot take it away in politics. We cannot, because the concept of godfatherism starts from the concept of mentorship in politics. I am coming into a political party. I am coming in with the influence of a particular person, or looking at the influence of a particular person. When I get into that political party, the person I am looking at or taking his influence to do this in my political party automatically becomes my mentor. By the time we manage it and more interest is being gathered, then definitely such a mentor can graduate into a godfather. So you can't take it off in political party. But the only thing we need to know is this: what is the intent of the godfather, and how is the heart or the political exposure of the godfather? Is the godfather for the masses or against the masses? If the godfather is for the masses, then it means the purpose of having that godfather is for the good. But if the godfather is having a bad intention and not having the interest of the people at heart, then such godfather is a bad one.
Okay. So now the election is around the corner, and
Okay.
people, the party and campaign have gradually started, directly or indirectly. What do you think? What are your expectations?
The expectation an average Nigerian would want to have is for us to have the needful and the needed political change, where each
Positive change,
yes,
negative change.
so where each and every citizen can be so proud to be the citizen of a particular place or a particular country. So for Nigeria, our expectation is so high, so high. We need the political change. The economical state of an average citizen is very porous. So the best way we can address this is to have the needful political change, so that an average citizen can benefit from the political structure we are having at hand.
Okay, thank you very much for coming, and thank you, Biasoto, for being there. You've heard this from our guest. He said you need to join a political party as a youth if you really want a good change that you're expecting. Until come your way again on the same program next week. Bye bye.